Hey, what's up, YouTubers? And welcome back to the back room of the Walnuts compound, where it's kind of messy back here. Got a lot of stuff kind of piling up, and it's a project in the works, and I'm hoping by the end of June of this year, this room will be completely transformed into the man cave room of movies. So for today, I'm going to show you guys my Steelbook collection. I have these pretty much in order of alphabetical order for the most part. And then once we get over to this half, I kind of switched it up a little bit and I went by franchise. So I have groups of like the Underworld movies, the X-Men movies, Friday the 13th movies, Hobbit movies. I have those all together. So sit back, relax, get a beverage, get a snack, light a candle or two, and let's go through and check out my Steelbook collection. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Get a pencil and a piece of paper. Maybe you want to jot some notes for some things that you want to add to your collection, and let's check them out. So I got the lights off in this room and I'm using only the flash and the candles for light. So hopefully this will work. I know that there's a lot of glare because these are protected by baggies. Some of them have the plastic cases. We'll try to do the best we can here. So the first one is 300. I really enjoyed that movie. 8 Mile. Starring Eminem, and although I'm not a rap music fan, I don't really care much for rap. I thought that was a pretty good movie. I thought Eminem was a very good actor in the movie. Brittany Murphy was great. I always had a huge crush on Brittany. I would like to see Eminem act more. I think he'd be a great actor if he wanted to be. The next one is 10 Cloverfield Lane. This was the sequel to Cloverfield that starred what's the dude from Roseanne? I forget his name. John Goodman. And I thought this was pretty good because it went a total different direction than what I thought it was going to go. If you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It almost seemed like kind of that John Goodman's character was kind of a creep, a kidnapper type character. And then it's halfway through the movie, it takes a whole completely different twist. And I'm not going to give it away in case you haven't seen it. Next one is The Amazing Spider-Man, starring Andrew Garfield. Still haven't seen a great Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's my favorite comic book character. I still haven't really seen one that I really like. The Tobey Maguire ones were okay. The Andrew Garfield ones were a little bit better, I thought, but still not very good. Next one is An American Werewolf in London. And the next one is also An American Werewolf in London. This is kind of a landscape cover. Really great movie, classic. You could probably hear my dog, Hannah. She's over there right next to me over here in the hallway, chowing down on food and drinking. This is Angels and Demons. This was an FYE exclusive of Annabelle. I think I only paid like $10 for this. Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, all-star cast. Check this out. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this movie and seen it by now. You have Marlon Brando, Robert Duvall, Martin Sheen, Lawrence Fishburne, Dennis Hopper, Harrison Ford. I don't know if there's ever been a better cast than that. The next one is, what is this? The Avengers Age of Ultron. I'll be honest, I'm not really into the superhero movies that much, so I really don't know much about them. I probably got that for a really good deal. That's why I have it in my collection. Here's a Basket Case, the trilogy. This was a Second Sight Steelbook. Get all 3 movies on Blu-ray. And this is the original Batman with Jack Nicholson as the Joker and Michael Keaton as Batman. This was excellent. I love this movie. And then this is the sequel to that movie. This time it has Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And this is Batman Returns. These are excellent movies. And then these are the Christian Bale Batmans. This is Batman Begins. That's one cover, Steelbook. And then this was an alternate cover. Same movie. This is the Big Lebowski. This was the limited edition pop art, or I can't remember what they called these, but these were around for a little while. You can get them at like Target, Walmart, stuff like that. These were limited, but I don't know exactly what they were limited to. But there was quite a few of them, and at one time I had, I think, all of them. I think I did sell some over the years, or trade. This one is a UK Steelbook of the Birds. It comes with this nice slipcover, slip box. And here's some more of these collectible pop art covers. This is the Blues Brothers. This is a different cover of that same movie. And I have some of the Bourne Identity, or the Jason Bourne movies. The Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, and the Bourne Ultimatum. Butterfly Effect. This was an excellent movie. Buried. This was another excellent movie. This one stars Ryan Reynolds, and he's the only guy in this movie, the only actor in the movie. And it's very, very suspenseful, and it's heartbreaking. It has you on the edge of your seat. If you've never seen Buried, check it out. It's a very excellent movie. Another UK import. This is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This was put up by the Masters of Cinema from the Eureka line in the UK. Excellent German movie. This is called Captain Phillips, starring Tom Hanks. This is based on a true story of Somalian pirates, and this was another excellent movie. So that's the end of, I guess, little shelf 1. This is a different kind of shelving unit. Eventually, when my plan comes to fruition at the end of June, this cabinet will be gone. It may not be gone, but it's not going to be holding Steelbooks. I'm going to have other things in this cabinet, but you guys will see that in June. I'll take you guys on a tour of what the room looks like when it's finished. Here's a classic. This is Chinatown, starring Jack Nicholson. Here's another favorite of mine. This is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. It's an annual watch for me, for a lot of people. Here's Christine, killer car movie from the 70s, drive-in style. Here's the Chronicles of Riddick, unrated, and then this is just a different edition of the same movie. Actually, I take that back. So this is the Chronicles of Riddick. This is part 1. And then this is the Chronicles of Riddick Pitch Black, which I believe is part 2. This is the remake of Clash of the Titans, starring Sam Worthington. Pretty good. Not as good as the original, for me anyway. I grew up watching the original, but that's still very, very good. This one has a lot of CGI. It's a very good movie, don't get me wrong. It's just... it falls a little bit short to me compared to the original. Here's the original Cloverfield. This was a Best Buy exclusive. This is Cold in July. I believe this is another UK Steelbook. I think I bought this one on Zavvi. This was another limited edition, but I don't know what it was limited to. But this is kind of a true crime movie story. It was really well done. It has Michael C. Hall, who played Dexter. Also has Don Johnson in it, which I could take or leave Don Johnson, to be honest. I'm not really a fan of Don Johnson, but this was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Hey, we have the Dark Knight. Why is it not focusing? The Dark Knight, and then the Dark Knight Rises. Batman has his hands full with what was Bane, played by Tom Hardy. There's a German war movie called Das Boot. Tom Hanks movie, The Da Vinci Code. No, not Tom Hanks. Nicolas Cage, I believe, right, in this one? I think I'm kind of confusing that one with the National Treasure movies. I think this one is a Tom Hanks movie, and the National Treasure. This is very similar to the National Treasure movies, to me anyway. Had that same kind of feel. And then Nicolas Cage was excellent in the National Treasure movies. Here's a sci-fi movie called Deep Impact. Look at that cover. That's a beautiful thing right there. Fun 80s sci-fi movie. Here's Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed. Another all-star cast. All these guys are excellent. Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg. Directed by Martin Scorsese. Excellent movie. Here's Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx as Django. This one also has DiCaprio and another great cast. A really fun movie. I just don't buy Jamie Foxx as Django. Here is the 4K Steelbook of Dragon Slayer with the slipcover. Another excellent movie. Here's another UK import called Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Christopher Lee, Donald Sutherland. And this is another great movie. 70s Hammer. Is it late 60s or early 70s? Something like that. This was a pretty fun movie. I just thought it was a little bit overhyped. Drive. Pretty fun movie. I know a lot of guys, when this first came out, there was a couple different steelbooks that came out, and there were some guys that were really, really overhyping that movie, and I hadn't seen it till that point, and I bought it, and it was good. It was good. It just didn't blow me away like it blew some of these other guys away. Here's a creepy movie called Eden Lake, kind of a stalking, harassing horror movie, suspense. This one, I believe, was... I can't remember if this was a German edition or this is a Dutch edition, I think. It's a Dutch movie and a Dutch steelbook. A pretty awful movie. I mean, it's a good movie. It leaves you feeling awful for the family, and it's one of the movies where you feel like you need to take a shower when you're done watching it. It's just very icky, kind of. You really kind of get invested in the movie. Here's a classic that I watch every year. This is Will Ferrell as Elf. Great movie. I love that movie. Here's The Entity. I believe this is another British steelbook. This was put out by Eureka. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo of that movie, and doesn't want to... There we go. And this is supposed to be based on a true story as well, about a haunting of a house, but I'm not a believer, but I still enjoy those movies. Here was a Best Buy exclusive of the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 steelbook. Comes with a clear slipcase. This is the 4K and Blu-ray, and you also get a digital code. I think I gave the code away already. I can't remember. Here is a UK edition of the original The Evil Dead. That's a great cover. Classic right there. Beautiful. Great movie. The first one is excellent. The second one and third one are okay. Here's another edition of the first movie. This is a US Anchor Bay steelbook. think this is Anchor Bay. It is. You can't see that, but because this phone doesn't want to focus half the time, but you can see that it is the Anchor Bay logo. And this is the remake of The Evil Dead. Got this one at Target. I didn't really like that movie that much, the remake. It just didn't have the same feel to me as the original. I realize that the original is a classic and nothing was ever really going to touch it, but it just didn't do anything for me. I didn't really care much for the remake. Here is Ash versus the Evil Dead Season 1 Steelbook, which I thought was pretty good. And Ash versus the Evil Dead Season 2 Steelbook. I didn't finish watching the second season. I think I only watched like the first 2 episodes. So that will conclude the second little shelf. We'll do the third shelf here, then I'm going to take a quick break. But for you guys, it won't matter. It won't be a break for you. It'll just be a break for me. And the first one on shelf 3 is a classic from my childhood. This is E.T. Everybody loves E.T. Elliot and his friend E.T. phone home. Really enjoyed that movie. I'm going to put this down here for now just to give myself a little wiggle room. Next one is the Fast and the Furious. Forbidden Planet. This one was limited to 4,000 pieces from the Entertainment Store in the UK. This is a great movie too. That's Robbie the Robot, who was the kind of, I guess, not prototype, that's not the right word, but he was kind of the inspiration for the robot in Lost in Space. Not exactly the same, but that's where they got the idea of that robot from Robbie the Robot. It's a fun movie. There's a young Leslie Nielsen in here, I believe, if I remember right. Walter Pidgeon, also in there too, another great actor. The next one is Fright Night. This one, I think this was also put up by Eureka. It was. You can see the Eureka logo down there at the bottom. It's a fun movie from the 80s, I think 85-ish, 86 maybe. Chris Sarandon was in that one. Here's another UK Steelbook. This is The Fly, the remake. This is the David Cronenberg, The Fly, starring Jeff Goldblum, and this is a great movie. Really enjoy that. The next one is Rambo, First Blood. This was one that I remember renting quite a bit back in the 80s, renting it on VHS. Next one is another Quentin Tarantino movie, From Dusk Till Dawn. Pretty fun vampire movie. Good cast: Harvey Keitel, Clooney, Salma Hayek, Juliette Lewis. And then the Ghostbusters, another classic. I watched this at the theater with my parents when I was a little guy. Man, this was a great movie. That was one of my favorite movie theater experiences, watching this with my parents when I was little. And then the sequel. These steelbooks are beautiful. And a lot of people crapped on the remake with the ladies. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved it. I don't know why people hated this movie so much. I really enjoyed it. This is Ghost in the Shell. This is a Japanese anime, kind of with a horror tone to it. Another Anchor Bay Steelbook. I like this. This is really good. This is the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie, 3D. This movie got panned quite a bit. It was they were expecting really good things out of this movie, and it kind of flopped, I guess. I still enjoyed it though. I thought it was pretty good. classic The Godfather. There's not much for me to say about this movie that hasn't been said already, but this is a masterpiece. The whole trilogy is fantastic. I've watched that movie many, many times in my life. This is Godzilla from 2014, I think it was. This is a pretty cool steelbook. You're not going to be able to tell maybe. I have it in a plastic case, but it's very embossed where that tail, it sticks way out. I don't know if you can really see that here through the packaging. And then this one, I think when you opened it up, it had the Godzilla scream. There's a little button right here. I don't know if it's still, the battery's been dead for a long time. I think this came out in 2014 or something like that. So it's like 10 years old. But it used to have the Godzilla roar, the scream, or whatever you want to call it. This one's called Gods of Egypt. I still haven't watched this one. I'm not really sure if this is like mythological or if this is about like the Bible. But the steelbook is really nice. Still haven't watched it though. One of my favorite movies of all time, easily in my top 3. And sometimes in my life, this is number 1, but it never leaves the top 3. And this is Goodfellas. And there's not much I need to say about this either. Everybody has seen this. Great cast, based on a true story about Henry Hill, gangster. I love that movie. It's a very long movie, but it's excellent. The soundtrack is excellent. The acting is phenomenal. It's just an all-around great, perfect movie. There's Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino, another great movie about an aging, almost kind of a racist type angry character, and gets humbled a little bit in the movie. That's a great role that Eastwood played in there. This is Guardians of the Galaxy. This was the awesome mixtape volume 1. I know this was a pretty hard ticket to get right away. When this came out on Steelbook, it was selling out really quick, and that's because people were going and buying like 4, 5, 6 of these at a time. They would keep one for themselves, and then they'd sell the others for like double price on eBay, which is total horse crap to me. I hate scalpers, man, but that's what they were doing with this. I just wanted one for myself, that's it. I hate it when people go and get all of them and then they sell them for double. If you do that, you're a horse's ass. This is Rob Zombie's Halloween, the collector's edition. I know a lot of people talk bad about this one too, but I enjoyed these movies. I like Rob Zombie's movies. Here's Halloween Kills. This is the limited edition 4K Steelbook. This was a Best Buy exclusive. This one sold out right away too. This sold out on pre-order. You had to order this one online and it was sold out before it even actually dropped. So a lot of people kind of missed out on that one too. But I think, if I remember, Best Buy had a limit of 2. You can only buy 2. But again, I only bought 1. I just need one for myself. I don't care about trying to sell stuff on eBay or anything. I could care less about that. Next one is a classic comedy called The Hangover. Pretty fun movies. These guys are pretty funny together. And then I have The Hangover 2. I need to get some more protective bags to put these in. Here's another excellent cop crime movie. This one's Heat. This is the UK edition, Blu-ray Steelbook. Another great cast. It's a Michael Mann film and has Al Pacino, De Niro, Tom Sizemore, Ashley Judd. This was when she was at her prime. Also had John Voight and Val Kilmer. Great movie, great cast. And that was the UK edition, and here's the US edition of the same movie. That's another one that I saw at the theater, and I had a lot of fun with this. This is Hellboy, Ron Perlman. It's a pretty funny movie. Next one is Jet Li in Hero. This one was produced by Quentin Tarantino, but not directed by Tarantino. This was when Jet Li was at his prime, too. He was a pretty big box office draw at this time. He's kind of disappeared over the years, but he's an aging actor now, and that's just, I guess that's what happens. Here's Hellboy 2. I don't know why this got stuck or got moved after Hero, but I'll put that next to Hellboy. I can't guarantee that everything's exactly in alphabetical order, but I do the best I can. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I miss things like that, but I'm going to pause it here for a minute, take a drink, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, we'll continue. My drink tonight, drink choice of tonight is Diet Peach Tea, which is pretty good. I'm just trying to stay away from sodas, and I had a soda yesterday. I had a soda today too, so that's enough for me for the weekend. All right, we're gonna jump into the H's still after Hellboy 2. This is Hot Fuzz. This is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and these guys together are comedy gold. They also did Shaun of the Dead and the pub crawl. I think it was called The End of the World. These guys are great together. I would love to see more movies from these guys. British humor at its best, I think. It's a really, really funny movie. And these are the How to Train Your Dragon Steelbooks. These things are beautiful, man. This is the first one from DreamWorks. These are really nice. Universal. Yeah, Universal. Yeah, it is DreamWorks, though. Okay. I knew I wasn't going nuts. Not yet, anyway. But that's part 1. This is part 2. And part 3. And this, I don't know if all 3 of these were Best Buy exclusives, but this third one was. And you can see they both kind of grew up together over the years. This was a really nice little franchise. I really enjoyed this series. Next one is I Am Legend, starring Will Smith, and this is kind of a remake of Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston. This movie was pretty good too. I'm not really that big of a Will Smith fan anymore, and it's not because of the slap. I just really don't like his movies that much anymore, but this was a Best Buy exclusive. This was a good one. There's another sci-fi movie called Interstellar with one of my favorite actors, is Matthew McConaughey, and this was a Target exclusive. Next one is It. This is the original It. That had, this was a pretty good cast. You had Tim Curry that played Pennywise, but you had Harry Anderson, who was Judge Harry Stone on Night Court. And John Ritter was in here as well, and Richard Thomas from The Waltons. He was John Boy, right? Yeah, this was a fun little kind of a mini series, but to me, and that's a great cover too. But to me, the remakes with Sarsgaard as Pennywise are better to me. I just think they're more frightening, and they're just, you know, they're more savage. They're just really, really good. This is the remake here with Bill Sarsgaard as Pennywise. This was part 1. Next one is It Follows. This was a pretty good horror movie. It was kind of a modern horror movie. This came out in 2016. And when I watched this, I didn't really expect much. You know, I kind of went into it blind. Wasn't really expecting a lot out of it, but it was pretty good. Next one is Jack the Giant Slayer. This was a good movie. It's kind of there's a lot of CGI in this movie, but it was very well done. It's a good family movie. It looks really good too on Blu-ray. I'm trying to see when this one came out. It's got to be over 10 years by now, I would think. I'm not seeing it, but I would have to guess like at 2013, 2014, something like that. It's got to be like 10 years old by now. Here's one of the Saw sequels, Jigsaw. And I really like this franchise too, even though it's been long in the tooth. I mean, this has been dragging on. I think there's at least 10 or 11 of these now. The first couple were very good because it was a kind of a new formula for a horror movie, but they kind of got repetitive, but I still enjoy them. I think these are really good. Next one is Jurassic Park, in one of those pop culture or whatever they called these steelbooks. Pretty good, not really great, but Jurassic Park was okay. This one was a childhood favorite of mine. The Karate Kid from 1984. This was a great movie. This was a feel-good movie, kind of like Rocky. You know, the good guy, the underdog wins in the end, and you feel good about it. Here's Kill Bill, Volume 1. Great Tarantino movie. I don't have to say anything about that. Everybody has seen these. And then here's Kill Bill Volume 2. David Carradine. Excellent movies. Here's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This was the MGM release from 2018. US release. Next one is King Kong. This is the King Kong from 2005. This is the Peter Jackson King Kong, which was excellent. And this has two versions of the movie on it. You get the theatrical version, which is 3 hours and 8 minutes. That's a long movie. But you also get the extended version here on this disc. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes, so it's 12 minutes longer, which is pretty significant. And this was a great movie. Peter Jackson's a genius. Pretty cool steelbook here called Kung Fu Hustle. Pretty bright, colorful steelbook. Bright pink, all kinds of different colors going on there. Here's another classic from my childhood, Labyrinth, with Jim Henson's puppetry and great acting. This has Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie, of course, and just a great movie. Really fun, kind of an adventure, mystical, magical movie. It's really nice. Here's Vin Diesel and The Last Witch Hunter. It was okay. It was pretty good. This is one of my favorite Hitchcock movies. This is called Lifeboat. I really enjoy this movie. And I recommend you to watch this one. This is a great steelbook here. This is another Eureka steelbook from the UK. This thing's beautiful. Here's another British movie. This is a classic over there in Europe. This is called Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I think this is a Boyle movie. The next one is The Lords of Salem, another Rob Zombie movie. And his wife is in it, as always, Sherry. It's an okay, it's middle of the road, I think. Maybe even a little higher, maybe like a 6 out of 10 I'll give this. I do like witch movies, but this one, it was okay. Here's a modern Western. This is the remake of The Magnificent Seven. Oops, almost slid out of that little thing there. This was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Here's Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. Again, this was not a great movie. Like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 for me, not that great. And the last one for this little shelf here is Nightcrawler, and this movie blew me away. I had always heard about this movie, but I never watched it. And then when I popped in this Blu-ray from the Steelbook, I really loved this movie. I thought it was really well done. And Jake Gyllenhaal stars as, they call him Nightcrawler. He's a guy who drives around at night. I think it takes place in California. I don't remember exactly. Is it LA? I believe it is LA, and he drives around looking for crime scenes, and he gets footage, and he sells the footage to television news people, and then he starts getting in bidding wars with other news stations, and he's becoming more and more getting in dangerous areas, and he's raising his prices. And it's a pretty good movie. It's way better than how I just described it. I'm not really a good movie reviewer. That's why I don't really do them that much, but I recommend Nightcrawler. It's a good movie. So we'll get down here to this bottom shelf. This is the original A Nightmare on Elm Street from Wes Craven. Classic. Everybody knows this movie. This is one of the best horror movies ever. That's the original from 1984, starring Robert Englund. And then this one is the remake. This was an FYE exclusive. I got it pretty cheap. It was on sale for $9.99 plus I was a member there, a yearly member, so I got a little bit more taken off of that price. But it was pretty good. This movie was okay, but it was definitely nowhere near the original with Robert Englund. I still liked it though. The next one is the 4K and Blu-ray of the original Night of the Living Dead. This was I believe this is a French Steelbook from Studio Canal. And it looks beautiful on 4K. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray. These black and white movies on 4K, it looks even a little bit better. Here's Tom Cruise in Oblivion. It was okay. It was okay. I'll be honest, I'm not really a big Tom Cruise fan. I just don't like his movies that much. I don't think he's that good of an actor. I know he's been in some classic things. I just don't really care much for Tom Cruise. Here's an independent horror film called The Orphan Killer. It was directed by Matt Farnsworth. And this one was signed up by the director and the killer in the movie, The Orphan Killer, T.O.K., and one of the actresses, Diane something or other. This was a pretty gruesome, pretty gory movie. A lot of blood. Did we look at that one? That's Oblivion. Okay, so the next one is Paul. And this is another one with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. This one's pretty funny too. It's an alien comedy movie. I love those movies. They're perfect movies for putting on if you're feeling a little bit down or a little bit sad. Put those two clowns on. They're pretty funny. The next one is Pet Sematary. This was the Mondo Steelbook. I think this was Sold at Best Buy, if I remember. This is the 4K edition of it. And then the next one is Phantasm Remastered. Limited edition Blu-ray, Steelbook. Angus Scrimm as the tall man. You get some pretty good bonus features here too. There's some new stuff. You have new audio commentary, some behind the scenes stuff. It's a pretty cool little Steelbook. Next one is the original Alfred Hitchcock, Psycho. Don't need to say anything about this one. Everybody knows about Psycho. That's a really nice Steelbook too. You can see the old mansion up on the hill, and you can see the blood kind of circling the shower drain. Good old Norman Bates, Bates Motel. And the next one is Pulp Fiction. This is my favorite Tarantino movie. I love this movie. I can quote every line in this movie by heart. I've seen it so many times. Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield, they're on the cover, and there's Butch, the boxer, played by the great Bruce Willis. They have Mia. It was Uma Thurman. She was, what was his name? Her husband in the movie was, I just got done telling you guys I can quote the movie by heart. Now I can't think of the character. It'll come to me. But this is a great movie. Next one is A Quiet Place. This one was pretty good too. This one was directed by John Krasinski from The Office, and his wife co-starred in the movie with him, with him in this movie. And this was really well done. There's a Quiet Place 2, and I haven't seen that one yet. I'm not going to tell you guys how this one ended, just in case somebody didn't see it yet, but I was a little bit disappointed that one of the characters doesn't make it. I'm not going to say who or what happened, and I think that's why I didn't watch part 2 yet, because that person couldn't possibly be in part 2. Next one is Reanimator. This is another Second Sight movie. Dr. Herbert West. Excellent sci-fi horror movie. And this is Reanimator 1 and 2. This was put out by Cape Light, which is a German company. It's a pretty nice Steelbook. Had that one for a long, long time. Next one is a CGI movie called Resident Evil Degeneration. I like these movies way better than the Mila Jovovich movies. These are true to the games, and I really like these. And the next one's Resident Evil. These are a little bit out of order. Doesn't really matter. Here's Resident Evil Apocalypse. These are all the CGI movies, computer-generated images. And here's Resident Evil Extinction. Resident Evil Afterlife. Resident Evil Retribution. I think these are the Mila Jovovich movies, because I don't think I had that many CGI movies. Here's another Second Sight edition, The Return of the Living Dead from Second Sight. I think I said that already. This is the limited edition, special edition. Here's The Revenant, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. This was an excellent movie. It's pretty brutal. You guys know this movie about the bear fight. This movie was unbelievable. I thought it was great. Next one is Salem's Lot. Barlow the Vampire. This was a good movie. Saving Private Ryan, epic war movie. Great cast again. Steven Spielberg directed it. You got Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Tom Sizemore. Excellent movie. And the last one for that bottom shelf is one of these Scarface editions. I have like 3 or 4 of these on Steelbook. This was the pop culture cover. Another great movie. So we're back up to the top again over here, which will save my back a little bit from stretching down like that. But I have a couple more Scarface editions here. I'm going to take one out and move it. This is the Yayo cover. Put that one down here for now. Give myself a little wiggle room. Here's the limited edition. This one has kind of a glossy fingerprint magnet cover. Limited edition. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And another one of those. Just a different cover. Here's Serenity, Blu-ray DVD combo with that pop culture cover. Here's an excellent serial killer movie called Seven. Everybody has seen this. Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt. Excellent movie. Shaun of the Dead. We talked about this a couple times already. This is a funny movie. One of the funniest comedy horror movies I've ever seen. And then here's another edition of it. And I have a third one down here that I couldn't find room for. I don't remember where I put the third one. I guess we'll come across that later, but I couldn't fit it up in here because it just wasn't organized. Here's one of the best movies ever made, and I think still to this day, this is #1 on IMDb. It has the highest score, The Shawshank Redemption. Excellent movie. Here's another kind of a good sci-fi movie, Silent Running. It's from Eureka. Here's Sin City. Jessica Alba. When she was in her prime. I think that's Jessica Alba, right? I believe so. Here's Sleepy Hollow, starring Johnny Depp. This was an FYE exclusive. There's a good movie about a runaway train called Snowpiercer. I thought this was excellent. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a Korean movie. Here's a sci-fi movie I saw in the movie theater. I took a date when I was young. I was just a teenager. We went to the movies. Stargate. Here's Straight Outta Compton. This is kind of like the biopic about the rap group, how they started and how they became popular and famous. Here's Sucker Punch. And so here's where I kind of threw in one of my franchises here. So I'm going to show you guys the Star Wars steelbooks that I have in my collection. And so we have Star Wars: A New Hope. And for some reason I have 2 of those. I don't know why. And then I have The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. Revenge of the Sith. The Force Awakens, which was a Best Buy exclusive. Rogue One, which was also a Best Buy exclusive. The Last Jedi. And the most recent Star Wars one that I have in my collection was a Disney Movie Club exclusive, if I can get it out. This is The Mandalorian, complete first season. So sliding down one shelf, we have Super 8, which was a really good movie. Kind of a coming of age type movie. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This was really good. Modern horror movie, kind of a Halloween style movie. These are the newer Star Trek movies. I think these are excellent too. I really like these. Starring Chris Pine. And Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond. Suicide Squad. I gotta take a break for a second, guys. My arm is killing me. I'll be right back. Okay, so we left off, I believe, with Suicide Squad. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Excellent movie. Great soundtrack. Love those movies. Terrifier 2 Steelbook. Art the Clown. Tombstone, one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. Excellent movie. Based on Wyatt Earp. Shootout at the OK Corral. Here's a great, I think this was a South Korean zombie movie called Train to Busan. Another excellent movie. Check out that cover. Really excellent movie. Here's Transformers Age of Extinction. I think I got this really cheap, and it's a very good cover. I don't know if the movie's any good, but that cover was great. And I got it for a very low price. Here's Tremors. Cool movie. True Grit, the original, with John Wayne. That's where he won his only Oscar. Here's Turbo Kid. This is kind of a post-apocalyptic, almost like a Mad Max type movie. Really good. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Slide over here a little bit. We have V for Vendetta, starring Natalie Portman. And everybody has a crush, right? When you watch movies, you have one particular actress or actor. I'm not judging. That you have a little crush on at times. And right now, my crush is Natalie Portman. I think she's a doll. She's absolutely gorgeous. Van Helsing. She's another one. Kate Beckinsale. She's on my list. Gorgeous woman. Wanted. War of the Worlds. For a guy who doesn't like Tom Cruise, I sure have a couple of his movies, don't I? Wizard of Oz, classic. Love that movie. Here's Wolf Cop. This was a good kind of a comedy horror movie. I enjoyed that one a lot. World War Z with Brad Pitt. Fell a little bit short for me. I didn't think it was all that great. Here's Wrath of the Titans. This was a sequel to the remake of Clash of the Titans, starring Sam Worthington. He's in this one again as well. These movies are really good. I love the Greek mythology movies. There's a classic, one of the best horror comedies of all time, Young Frankenstein. Great movie. There's another great movie called Zodiac, based on a true story of the Zodiac killer from the 1970s, 60s, whatever it was. This is the director's cut. It's a very long movie, but this movie is absolutely amazing. Mark Ruffalo plays the lead detective. He's a Wisconsin native, of Kenosha. He grew up about 20 minutes from where I'm at right now. You got a great cast here, Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr., but Mark Ruffalo steals the show in this movie. David Fincher directed it, but Mark Ruffalo, this is one of the best roles I've ever seen in any movie. This is definitely one of the best characters ever played. If you haven't seen Zodiac, David Fincher's Zodiac, check it out. It's a great movie. So I have some of the Underworld movies. I think I'm missing one or two. I don't remember why. I think I had them all at one time, but I don't know what happened to the other ones that I'm missing. And I kind of lost track of what the order was, so these may be out of order. This is Underworld Evolution. Underworld Rise of the Lycans. Kate Beckinsale is awesome. Underworld Awakening. And the fourth one that I have, I think I had them completely out of order because I think this is actually the first one, Underworld. And I was too lazy to do a little pre-prep for this video and get them in order, but what difference does it really make? So I have some of the X-Men movies too. I think I had them all at one time, but I sold a couple, I think, or traded a couple years ago. So these are out of order too, but this is X-Men Days of Future Past. X2, X-Men United. X-Men The Last Stand. Great cast, a lot of good characters in these movies. And X-Men Origins Wolverine. And then we kind of hop into my Friday the 13th Steelbooks. So the first one is the original. These have all these have the original covers. Part 2. Part 3. Final chapter. And then these next two are a couple of German releases. These are the first Friday the 13th. This one comes with a lenticular cover. See if I can get that thing to... So I have a plastic case on it, so I think it's kind of fighting the reflection of that lenticular cover, but I think you guys can kind of see that. And that was a German edition, and this one's also a German edition. This is the Mondo German edition. I think it's German. So those were my Friday the 13th Steelbooks. Now I have the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies. So the first one was Hobbit. These are out of order too. So the first one is the extended edition of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. And the next one, part 2, was the Desolation of Smaug extended edition. And the third one was the grand finale, and this is the Battle of the Five Armies, which was a Best Buy exclusive. I love these movies, they're so excellent. And then the Lord of the Rings movies, we have the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and The Return of the King. Glad to have those Steelbooks. Those are great movies. So this next little grouping, these are my Studio Ghibli movies. Give myself a little room here. I tried to kind of plan this out so it made the video a little more entertaining, I guess, if you can see them all in one grouping. So this is Ponyo. These were put out by Shout Factory. The next one is Castle in the Sky. These are in no particular order. Princess Mononoke. Spirited Away. This was a good one. These are all good. Kiki's Delivery Service. Grave of the Fireflies. I don't have any of these open, and that's because I do have these on Blu-ray from the Disney label with slipcovers, and that's how I watch them. Here's Howl's Moving Castle. This is another good one. And like I said, these are all good. I'm sure most of you guys have seen these by now, or at least have seen a couple, or at least one, I would say. If you haven't, you should check these out. Here's Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. Porco Rosso. Whisper of the Heart. This one I have never seen before. My Neighbor Totoro. The Wind Rises. And the last Studio Ghibli movie that I have is The Secret World of Arrietty. I know I'm missing at least a couple. I'll try to get those at some point. So that was my little Studio Ghibli collection. And now we're jumping over to the Universal Monsters Steelbooks. And again, these are in no particular order. This is Frankenstein. All of the artwork on these Universal Steelbooks were done by Alex Ross, who's one of the best comic book artists in the game today. Excellent artist. Here's The Invisible Man. The Wolf Man. Dracula. I bid you welcome. Excellent movie. The Bride of Frankenstein, another great one. Mummy. And the last one that I have for the Universal Steelbooks is Creature from the Black Lagoon. So this next shelf has kind of a little mishmash. I have some television shows here in the beginning of this shelf. So I have Game of Thrones, complete first season that came with these little collectible magnets, the sigils from the, I guess those are kind of like the emblems of the families in this series. That's season 1. And I have season 2. I couldn't get into this show. I wanted to because I love this kind of stuff. Like I love The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies, and I love fantasy and medieval times and, you know, sword and sorcery type stuff. But there was a few things in that series that really kind of bothered me and I couldn't get into it. But with that said, I think I am going to try to watch them again, start at the beginning. If I can get a good deal on the entire series and like a Blu-ray box set or something, I'll do that. And I'll just push through and try to watch it, because I have heard a lot of people in my personal life tell me that they really love the show. So I definitely owe it to myself, I think, to at least give it another shot. So I have some of the Walking Dead on DVD. This is another series that I only got into it for like maybe the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then I kind of gave up, and I think it ended up going for like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 seasons, something like that. I had everything on DVD and Blu-ray at one point, but I got rid of some of them. So here's the Steelbook for the complete 3rd season, which was put out by Anchor Bay. Here's the 4th season. Again, I may try to get the whole box set at some point and go through again, but I had a really hard time getting through the beginning of season 1 because I hated the character Shane. I thought that guy, he bugged me. He was just a terrible actor. And his character was just this whiny, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Here's the 5th season. These were Target exclusives. And 6th. I thought Michonne was an excellent character. And anytime you started to kind of get attached to a character where you think, oh man, that character is really cool, I like him, they would kill him off. And they would do that in Game of Thrones too, which I didn't really care for that. The next one is Shaun of the Dead. This is the landscape one. This is the one I was looking for earlier. I know this was going for a lot of money at one time, but I don't think it does anymore. I don't care about that stuff anyway. I never sell anything unless I just don't want it. I don't sell stuff for the money of it. Here's one of my favorites. This is The Princess Bride. This was a great story, a great cast of characters. I love Andre the Giant. He was my favorite wrestler. His name was Fezzik in this movie. He was excellent. Sean Wallace was in here, and Mandy Patinkin. Yeah, this was a really great movie. Carrie Elwes. I'm drawing a blank. Sean Penn's wife, Robin Wright Penn, who was in there as well. Really, really great movie. If you've never seen Princess Bride, do check it out. So this next little stack here, these are my Synapse Films Steelbooks. These are kind of like, I would describe these as like deluxe Steelbooks. Like these are really, really nice Steelbooks. This is Popcorn. You get 2 different covers there. Nice little 80s horror movie, kind of obscure. Here is Suspiria from 1977. Very low number, these are very rare, hard to find. You may never find these again. Here's Tenebrae. This was limited to, I think, 200, and this was number 137. Let's see. And Phenomena, those three movies are Argento movies. This is number 102 out of 200. Here's another Steelbook of Suspiria. This one came with a slipcover. The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. Really nice slipcover. This is beautiful. This was also called Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. That was the US title. Next one's called The Kindred. Nice slipcover here on the Steelbook. This is one of my favorite Steelbooks in my entire collection. This is Tombs of the Blind Dead. This is phenomenal. I love that Steelbook. And the next one is called Massacre at Central High. There's Demons 1. These are fun movies too. And Demons 2. So that was it for the Synapse films. And here was a UK import of Enter the Dragon. I know it's out of order, but I had to put it at the end. 1973 movie, Enter the Dragon, starring Bruce Lee. And let's see, so the bottom shelf, these are the DVD-sized Steelbooks. So I have Trauma, here's a German edition of Day of the Dead. Has a lenticular plate on the cover that shows like a 3D depth. Really nice edition there. Here's Diary of the Dead. This was also I don't know if this was German. This is a UK Steelbook. Limited edition. I got number 16307, but I don't know what it was limited to. Here's Beowulf, Robert Zemeckis movie. It's a CGI movie. The Breed, Wes Craven movie. Wes Craven produced it. This is a killer pack of dogs movie. Like killer wolves type. Next one is the Boondock Saints, the unrated special edition. Here's another I Am Legend. Immortal. For some reason, my camera is shut down, and I was showing you guys the back of it. Next one is The Omen, starring Gregory Peck. Possessed child type movie. Got some more German editions here. This one's called Cannibal Holocaust. The lenticular plate on the front. Here's The House by the Cemetery. Uncut. Here's Zombie Flesh Eaters, also called Zombie 2. It's called Voodoo in Germany. The W's are pronounced as a V, so it's not voodoo, it's voodoo. This is the uncut. And the last one for this shelf is a serial killer 3-pack, which includes the movies Ed Gein, Gacy, and Dahmer. So I'm gonna pause it here, take you guys into my bedroom and show you my Texas Chainsaw Massacre Steelbooks, and then I guess we'll just do a quick little panning of the Arrow Video Steelbooks. Even though I just recently showed those in a video, I do want to include them in this video in case I have new subscribers or somebody who didn't check out the other video. So I'm gonna pause it here and I'll see you guys in 1 second. Okay, so I have some Texas Chainsaw Massacre Steelbooks here, and I have some Batman Steelbooks that I forgot to show. So the first one was a German edition from Turbine. The next one was the 2-disc DVD-sized Steelbook from Dark Sky Films. This was a really cool Steelbook when it came out on DVD. This was a British Steelbook from Second Sight. This is the US 4K Steelbook with that classic cover. This is another German edition. Put up by Turbine. This one was limited to 5,000. I got number 1551. This is a US release. This was a Best Buy only exclusive. This is another German edition from Turbine. This was a US FYE exclusive, 40th anniversary. This was another US release of one I just showed earlier. That way you can kind of see what comes inside of it. You get a poster, you get 2 discs, and you get some images from the movie in the background. Let's see if I can pull this stuff out. Here's the little J card. I kept that. I haven't been keeping those lately. There's the dinner scene from the end of the movie. This is a German 4K release that came with the slip box. You get a book and a Steelbook. This one was limited to 550. This was cover D. This is my favorite cover. 3-disc set, comes with a thick book again. This was cover B. They had 4 covers, A, B, C, and D, and I had all 4 of them. This was the Italian artwork. This was cover A. And the last one for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, these were all the original 1974 movie. That's another excellent cover. That was taken from the VHS cover in the US from Media. So those were the Texas Chainsaw Steelbooks. Let me put these off to the side here, and then we'll go through the Batman stuff. These are all Steelbooks from Batman. These are all animated. And this is called Return of the Caped Crusaders, and these guys were actually voiced by Adam West and Burt Ward. So that was a nice little movie with those guys reprising the role. Here's Batman, Bad Blood. Here's a Target exclusive of Justice League War. Here's Batman, The Killing Joke. Batman and Harley Quinn. Here's Batman versus Robin, Target exclusive. This is Justice League, The New Frontier. Batman Assault on Arkham, Target exclusive. And the last one for the Batman Steelbooks is Batman Ninja. So these are the Arrow Steelbooks I showed the other day, but I wanted to include them. Somehow these got out of order a little bit, but just to kind of quickly go over these, I have the Driller Killer, Foxy Brown, The Hills Have Eyes, the original, Inferno, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, King of New York, Lady Snowblood, and Lady Snowblood 2. What is this? The Last House on the Left, 12 Monkeys, An American Werewolf in London, and one American Werewolf in London with the slipcover. Here's Audition, Battle Royale, The Beyond, Big Trouble in Little China, Black Sunday, Blood and Black Lace, Blowout, The Burbs, excellent movie, The Burning, City of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Demons 1 and 2, Django, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, The Fall of the House of Usher, Life Force, The Long Good Friday, Maniac Cop, Phantom of the Paradise, Phenomena, The Pit and the Pendulum, Porky's, Rabid, Reanimator, RoboCop, Shivers, Time Bandits, Theater of Blood, The Thing, Tenebrae, White of the Eye, and Zombie Flesh Eaters, also known as Zombie 2. So that will wrap up my Steelbook collection. I think I'm missing a couple. As a matter of fact, I know I'm missing at least one, which is the Toxic Avenger from 88 Films. I have that Steelbook. I feel like I'm missing more, but I think this is a good enough video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The ladies wanted to say goodnight. So for Miss Hannah, Miss Heidi, I'm your boy Toddy Walnuts. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Later.